Hello everyone. Here we want to introduce you the Excel file that helps you to generating your invoices. This Excel is developed based on the macro and VBA. So if you open this Excel for first time, you will see the yellow ribbon that asks you to enable the content of the macros. So please enable the content by pressing this enable button, and after that you are free to use this Excel. So as I told you, this Excel is used for generating the invoices and manage those invoices. You will see a couple of sheets here. The first sheet is a data entry for your invoice. The second one is your invoice. This is what will be printed and saved as a PDF. The third sheet is the product list. You can manage your products here. You can add them and add the price as well here. And the fourth sheet is the data. These are the invoices data that will be saved here, so you can get a report from that. The fifth sheet is the pivot table. I will hide this one because you will not need this. And the last sheet is the dashboard. You can see your performance of selling products or services. So in the data entry, all you need to do is working with these sheets and seeing the last one for seeing your performance. So these sheets will be not needed to be worked with, but in the case you need to modify something by your hand or manually, you can use these sheets as well. So in the first sheet, as you can see, there is a couple of buttons here that enables you to work with this file. The first thing you have to do is introduce your products or services. For example, right now there are a couple of products. You can clear the database or clear the product list by using these two buttons. For in the first time, if you are using this Excel, please clear all the data in the product list and the data sheets by using these two buttons. Let me clear the product list. If you clear that, you can see these products that was here are clear right now. Now I want to add some products. For example, I sell keyboards. I can say I serve something. So I can say, for example, I do the project, for example, Excel projects. I can say that easy Excel projects, complex Excel projects as my products. Right now I assume that I will sell some computer stuff. So for example, keyboards is my first product. You can say that what brand of this keyboard you are selling. For example, how can I say, for example, Microsoft keyboard, for example, HP keyboards, whatever brand you are selling that. By general, I say keyboard, and the unit price per keyboard is, for example, $50. I add this one, and now as you can see, the keyboard is added to my product list here, as well as if I cancel that, in the product list here. So the next one I want to add, for example, I saw it's a mouse and it's $10. I add that. And for example, monitor for $150, I add that too. And right now the just three products will be enough. I cancel, and now I can choose between these keywords, between these products. And for example, the customer came into my store and asked me to give them 10 keyboards. I asked the full name, for example, Arash Keshavarzi, and his ID number, for example, I press something randomly, and his phone number, for example, something like that. And after that, I just need to ask what is the item you want to buy. He said the keyboard. How many? 10 number of keyboards, and as you can see, the unit price is 50 and the quantity per the keyboard is 500, and the invoice total right now it's 0 because I did not add that to my invoice. So if I add it right now, I have to change the date at first. For example, it's 21/12/2019, and now I add this one to my invoice, and as you can see it's added right now, and you can see invoice total is 500 right now. If you go to the invoice sheet, you will see that the item keyboard is added, the quantity is 10, unit price is 50, and the total price is 500. The customer info is added here as well, Arash Kishavarzi, ID number and the phone number. Also, you need to add the name and the address, phone, and the fax number of your company, the zip code, register number, and so on. This one should not be added by you. This will be added automatically by Excel. As you can see, this is a formula here, so please do not change this formula, and just add the name, address, phone number, fax, zip code, register number, and do not change the invoice number, as well as do not change the date of the invoice, because these two have function here. Also, the customer info has formula here, so please do not change these three as well. But what about the logo and the company name? You can change those manually, or you can come here into the data entry and set the company name and logo. If you press the set company name and logo, first it asks you the logo of your company. You can choose your logo, and after that it will ask you the name of your company, so you can change the diacritic to something else, for example LLL company as your company name. So if you go to the invoice right now, you can see the company name changed. I did not choose the logo, but if I choose the logo, it will be changed as well. Here I can change that name manually as well, for example here. Okay, so after you change this, your invoice is ready. For example, you want to add something else into this invoice. For example, Arash asked for 2 monitors as well. I can choose monitors. I will add the quantity 2 and enter. And as you can see, the monitor $150 unit price, 300 per quantity because I bought 2 monitor, and the invoice total right now is 500. If I add to the invoice, it will change it into the 800 and say added. So these are the basics. If you, for example, in the middle of something, for example, Arash said that I want 5 mouse as well, I can say it's 5. I choose mouse. Here I can see I have the typo error, so I need to change the name of the mouse into the right writing. For example, I need to say it's a mouse. Here it's like that, so I can change that. If I press enter, you can see the formula is changed, so you are able to change the formula here. And the unit price is not $10. For example, it's $20. So I can write that. And after I add to invoice, the mouse writing is changed and it will be updated. And you need not to worry to the formula because it will be right back here. And as well as the unit price. So if you go to the product list, you can see the mouse is changed and the price as well are updated. So you can update the name of your product directly from this data entry form. So now I will add that to my invoice as well. So I can see the invoice. Arash said that these are all the items I wanted, and the invoice is ready for you. You can see the invoices here as well. You can change that manually as well. For example, here the mouse is added twice. I want to delete one of them. I can come here and choose these and press the keyboard delete button, so I can see it's deleted manually. It's okay to do that. Or I can come to the data entry and say remove from the invoice. The last item will be removed. So if you see the last item is removed, so you are able to change all of these by your hand. Just please do not change the cells that contains formula here. For example, the name of your customer, the ID number, the phone number, or the total number, because it's a summation of these, and as well as the invoice number. All other, it can be changed by you. For example, you want to change the note to something else, or you want to change the name of your company to something else. It's okay. Just do not change the cells contains formulas. I do not set the password, or I do not restrict anything, because I want you to be able to edit this Excel by yourself. However, if you are not familiar with the Excel, do not change the formulas, but if you are familiar with the Excel, you can do whatever you want. So here the invoice is ready right now. I want to generate it. I want to get the print of my invoice, or I want to save it as a PDF. For example, here I can say I want 0 print. So if I set this one to the 0, there will be no any printing. Or if I set this one as a no, I will not save anything into my computer as a PDF file. All it will be done, it will be saved into the data. So if you set the printing number to the 0, or say that I do not want the PDF, all have been done, it will be saved into my data table. But here first we will see, for example, I want 1 print, or I want 2 prints, 1 for myself and 1 for a customer, and I want the PDF as well. So I press the yes button. If you say yes, you have to be sure this one is correct. For example, the C user folder is exit. If not, make it empty. And so if you publish the invoice, it will be added to your database, and after that it asks you where you want to save the PDF files of your invoice. So you have to choose a folder that you want to save your invoices. It should be remembered that all the invoices will be saved here. For example, in the desktop I will create a folder named to my invoices. So I want all the invoice will be saved into this folder. So I choose this one, and you will see that this invoice will be printed as the PDF file. And also if you go to your print, it shows that the two print sent to your printer to have you into your paper. It should be noted this print, it will be as the A5 size, so the half of the A4 paper size. I cancel the printer, and if you go to your my desktop, I can go my invoice, see my invoice. This Excel file create a folder named to the name to the year of the invoice. And if you go to the year, you can see the name of the month after that is here. So if you have another invoices in another month, in the 2019, this Excel will create another folder. And in each month, you will see there is a folder for each day. And in each day, you will see all the invoices for that particular day. For example, one invoice for Arash Keshavardi in 2019 to month 2, day 21, and this one is the first factor, the first invoice in this day for Arash Keshavarzi. And if you press open this PDF file, you can see the invoice PDF here as well. So let's do another example. I open the Excel file again, and for example, there is another customer came here into my store and asked me to buy some stuff for his computer. For example, Armin Keshavarzi. The ID number, randomly I choose the number and the phone number as well. So I asked him, what you want to buy? For example, he say I want 5 keyboards. For example, so I choose 5 keywords for him and I add to my invoice. It's added, and he said I want 2 mouses. So I simply add 2 mouses, and I can use Ctrl D. So if you use Ctrl D at the same time, press Ctrl D in your keyboard, it will be added automatically to your invoice as well. So after that, for example, he said I want 5 monitors, and add that. I press Ctrl D, it will be added to my invoice as well. So if I go to my invoice, I can see it's added to my invoice. The total is $1,040, and I can now generate the invoice. So I press to publish the invoice. It will be it added to my database, and the invoice is generated, and prints, open all active prints, and as you can see, 2 paper prints sent to my printer as well. I want to cancel that. I cancel the prints, and if you go to your invoice folder and into the day 21, you can see there is another PDF file added to the date of 2019 month 2 and day 29, the second invoice for Armin Keshavarzi. If I open that, you can see the invoice here as well. So it's automatically print my invoice. Also, it organized my PDF files into the structured folder base. So for example, I do want to do another thing. For example, let's do one again for another customer, and her ID number is this. For example, phone number, this one is came here in this after the day after that. For example, 22 of the month till 2019, and she asked me for 3 keyboards. I add that to my invoice by using Ctrl D in my keyboard. And for example, 2 mouses, Ctrl D, and for example 1 monitor, and Ctrl D. So for example, I do not want any prints, but I want to save my PDF files. So I publish, it's added to the database, and after that it's saved as a PDF. If I go to my folder, invoice folder, in the 2019 month 2, you can see it's created another folder for day 22, and it's in the day 22 you can see for Yasaman Keshavarzi invoice, and you can see the invoice of her purchase. And however, if you do not want to use this data entry form, you can also come here and add by yourself all the data needed for generating your invoice. Okay, But just remember that the name and the ID, these are the formulas. If you replace it by the text, after a while you want to use data entry, you need to replace the formula again here. So these are the main buttons that you should know about this software. There are some other buttons. You saw the remove from invoice. You can add the new product. You saw that. You also can remove the product. For example, I want to remove the monitor. I can use this button. You saw the set company name and logo as well. You can get the backup from the product list if you use these two buttons. The first one get the backup from your all sale data. For example, these sheets will be saved at whatever place you want, and this one will get the backup from your product list from these sheets. Let's get the backup from the data. For example, if I press this one, it asks you where you want to save this data. For example, I choose desktop in my invoice. For example, I want to have all backups here, so I choose the same folder. I press OK, and it asks me name you want to have. For example, the sale data of year 2019, and I press OK. And after that, an Excel file will be saved in the main folder of my invoice, and you can see there is an Excel file here. If you open this Excel file, you can see all the data of your sale will be saved in an Excel file. So this will be same for product list. If you press this one, it asks you a folder. For example, I choose my invoice. I press OK, and it's a product list. For example, year 2019. I want to have a backup from my products, and after that I can see if I go here, there is another Excel. It's a product list of the year 2019. For example, if something happened for your product list, you can come here, use your backup, copy that, and come to your main Excel, go to product list and paste it very simply here, and all your list will be saved and you can use that again. So this is how to use the sales backup and product list backup. If you go to the dashboard, you will see the bunch of charts help you to see your performance over the time series, and also you can see what is good for you to improve your performance. In the first, you have to update the dashboard. So use this button to update your dashboard. It says updated right now, and you can use that. After you update that, for example, I want to see just 2050 charts. So I can press 2050, and you can see it shows you just this year data. This is the trend of your monthly sales. The green ones say how many sales you had in this year, and the blue one will say the summation of the total income from these purchases. And this one is a daily base. It's the, for example, first day of each month, the summation of total sales you have in the first of each month. And this is the blue one, is the summation of your income for the first day of total month in the year of 2050. And this one is the 5 best buyers. These names shows the best customer who buys the most from you, and this is the 5 best sales, which is specify which products is the best in 2050 for selling. So this is this very, very simple dashboard that helps you a lot. Also, you can have more charts if you want. You can use these data to generate more charts. Also, by using this one, for example, I want to see how much Mercedes-Benz. These are the data for past 2050, and these are the random products. These are something from previous things. So for example, I want to see how much BMW I sold in 2050. I can filter it into the BMW, and if you can see, this is a monthly trend, daily trend, and the best customers for selling these products. So however, if you want to select multiple year, for example, or multiple month, for example, in 2050, I want to see the data of month 1 and compare that to month 2. I can hold the control button and then select month 2. For example, I want to see month 3 together with the month 1 and month 2. I have to press the control button in my keyboard and then press the month 3. So the month 3 will be added to this month, and now I can see the data, the trend data of the cells and number of cells and the summation of my cells in this manner. So these are as you can see, in the first month of the year I do not sell a lot of products, but it's growth. I have some growth in month 2 and month 3, and these are my best buyers as well. So this is how it's work. For example, I want to have a PDF file from this report. I want to send this to my manager, for example. I can save the PDF file of this report. It asks me where you want to save that. For example, in the desktop, in the my invoice folder, I press OK, and after that it asks me the name of the report. For example, I want to say report of year 2019, 3 first months, and I want to save that PDF. After that, it generates a PDF file. If you go to the my invoice folder, you can see there is a PDF file here as well. If you open that, and you can see the report, and you can send this report to your manager via email or something else. The total sale amount, the total sale number, and all other charts. It will be useful for you to improve your performance. So this is how this Excel works. This is really helpful Excel for managing your sales and invoices in the really organized way. I hope this Excel helped you a lot, and goodbye.